Hey everybody, Jeremy here. So this is a bit of an unexpected video. So I was in Target today getting some adjustments done on my glasses, and every time I'm there, I'm like, yo, I gotta go back to the electronics. I gotta go check out the figures. I need to see if those NECA Turtles and Bebop and Rocksteady has somehow found their way into my stores. They never do. But what I did see was one of these on the shelves, and this is a Mego Jimi Hendrix action figure doll. The packaging calls it an 8-inch action figure, but this whole Mego style, they really just look like cloth dolls. And although I wasn't into Mego because this company came out in like the 50s and then they went out of business in the 80s, and then they came back a couple years ago to, release some more figures. And I think like this 8-inch scale stuff, I think that might be exclusive to Target. But I think I'm of the age now where I can appreciate stuff like this. It's not so much about, well, does it look like a doll, but more like just the figure itself. This is Jimi Hendrix. He's an icon, an amazing virtuoso guitar player, an inspiration to me because I also play guitar. And I thought, hey man, this would be great. This would be great. I can put him right next to Bob Ross right there. So anyway, this guy was $14.99. Go check out your Targets if you want to see what other kind of Mego things that they have. I recall maybe about a month or so ago, there was also like this Muhammad Ali that was on clearance that was like $7, and I thought about getting it, but then I didn't get it. But I couldn't pass up Hendrix. He comes with the freaking guitar. All right, so enough gushing. I'm really curious to see what this is all about. 14 points of articulation. Ooh. And it's not about articulation with these things. It's just about, having the iconic figure for someone like Hendrix. All right, so let's take a look at this together. All right, so right off the bat, let me tell you, I like this more than I thought I was going to. I didn't think I was going to dislike it, but I'm actually shocked that, I like it as much as I do. So here's the thing. Taking it out of the packaging, the first thing that I notice with this guy is that he stands up very well, and that it doesn't take a whole lot of fiddling around with him in order to get him to stand up. So if I were to have him like in a crazy, he falls over kind of a pose or whatever, and I'm just like, yo, Jimmy, stand up straight. That's it. That's all I have to do. I don't have to try to get one foot in front of the other a little bit better. I don't have to try to twist it in an awkward way or try to displace some of the weight on the torso by moving it front or back and stuff like that. No, it just works. He just stands very well. And that's awesome. These clothes, I think, are pretty good. I very rarely have any kind of figures that have cloth goods on them, but, I think that this works out very well. It seems to, fit him pretty well, too. It always, with these cloth type figures, always a little bit of a weirdness to the way the clothes fit. They always seem like a little bit baggy or whatever, but, this is actually quite good. And by the way, $15, I mean, come on, it's awesome. Here's another thing that I noticed with this figure as I was kind of messing around with them. I was trying to see what kind of foot articulation he has. And then I thought, wait a minute, what's going on here? And you can take off the shoes. What? Maybe it's just a little thing, but that's pretty cool to me. You can take off his shoes. In addition to taking off his shoes, what else we can do? Take off his hat. I think that this was a pretty good sculpt on Jimmy's head, and how, he's got like that crease right there in his fro from this being on his head. That's a nice little touch there. And he looks close enough to Jimi Hendrix, unless, I guess, as far as like a Mego figure would go. Of course, it's not the perfect likeness, but, it still works. It still works. Now, 14 points of articulation. Let's see what we got going on here. Unfortunately, now with my figure, his right hand, his right arm, it's not very... It's loose. It's loose. Let's just put it that, it's just loose. So it won't stay. His left arm is different. As you can see, it bends and it stays that way. Right elbow joint is loose. Same thing like kind of with the arm in general. It kind of just wants to go for itself. It's not as stiff as the left arm. So that's unfortunate. Some other things we do here, look how far you can kick his leg out. But then again, see this one as well. Not very stiff. It just kind of goes for itself. Left leg is better. So it just seems like the left side of his body, or at least on this particular figure, is just better than the right side, which is fine with me Because Jimi Hendrix is left-handed. This is his dominant side, so his dominant side is shining through. But whatever. In all seriousness, it's unfortunate that the right limbs are not as good as the left side of the limbs. So yeah, that is a mark against it. But I like it. I like it. Here is a look at Jimmy's guitar, his Stratocaster, classic iconic Fender Stratocaster. And this is made out of some, kind of soft, rubbery kind of material. I don't know if it's just plastic and I don't know if it's actually rubber. But as far as the paint on this goes, not very good. However, the Fender logo up here, the Fender logo is surprisingly well done. It's the best paint on this guitar. It's almost like they were like, all right, well, we can kind of get it in the ballpark of these other adornments on the guitar, the strings and then the volume and the pick guard and stuff, but we got to get that Fender logo perfect. And they did. That Fender logo is clean. All right, so of course we got to give Jimmy the guitar so that he can, play. So let me try to get him to hold it. Okay, so this is the best guitar holding pose that I could get him in, because the biggest problem that I had is that his right arm, it wants to fall. So it means that he can't really hold the guitar up by itself. So I had to sort of take the guitar and tuck it a little bit under his left arm. That gave me just enough to be able to put the neck in between his thumb and index finger, and then just have his left hand get as close to the strings as I possibly could, and just kind of have him leaning back like that in the middle of a crazy solo. This is a pretty cool pose. And the whole thing is, if it wasn't for his arm being loose, it would have been easier to get him into this pose. When these, I'm actually really surprised. I wasn't expecting much out of this Mego figure, but as it turns out, it's pretty good. I love figures that when they articulate, they don't fight you. It's not stiff. I wish that the limb wasn't loose, of course, but when it works very well. It gives you enough range to pull off something that looks cool. You may not be able to have them in contorted poses that don't look natural, but at the same time, what you have works. And he's even standing up easily. That's something that modern day figures still struggle with. So yeah, surprisingly awesome figure from Mego. So I really appreciate this figure for what it is. And for 15 bucks, I think that it is a really good deal. So if you run across some of these Mego figures and they are of characters or celebrities that, you admire and you like, go ahead. If you collect these things, go ahead and get them. I am really shocked, and they actually did a very, very good job. And I also want to really quick, before I sign off, I do want to give props to some of the people who helped make this figure, because on the back of the packaging, it says special thanks to a consultant, which is Dr. Mego. Not too sure who that is, but thank you. Sculptor Sean Sampson, sorry. And then the seamstress Nicole Wilson. So if all those people had a part in putting this together, and for everyone else who had a part in putting this together, thank you very much, because you have made something that is really, really nice. So thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jeremy. I'll talk to you later.